Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this because it is absolutely fascinating. I want you to picture walking into your office. The lighting is bright, everyone is smiling, the coffee is brewing, it all looks totally fine. But under the surface, there's a war going on. You see, we often think of a toxic workplace as this loud, aggressive environment with screaming matches in boardrooms or door slamming, but in reality, the most destructive betrayals are completely silent. It's an altered file name, it's a hidden tab on a spreadsheet, or, like in the incredible story we are breaking down today, it's a single, crucial client thank you email that gets purposefully buried in an archived thread. Today, we are unpacking a masterclass of a corporate conflict centered around an employee named Maya Chen at Northbridge Strategy. We're going to look at exactly how one buried piece of digital evidence dismantled an entire toxic power dynamic, and why having a meticulous approach to your own work history might literally save your career. To really ground our analysis, I want you to think about the mindset of Maya Chen, the absolute hero of this corporate drama. When Maya first senses that something is off, when the atmosphere shifts and the credit for her hard work starts evaporating, she doesn't panic. She opens her notebook and writes down one central thesis: what changed, who changed it, and who benefits. Just let that sink in for a second. That is not just a passing thought. That right there is a masterclass in corporate survival. Maya understands something fundamental. In a high-stakes environment where people are absolutely desperate to control the narrative, the smallest digital record can instantly become your loudest witness. That single question, who benefits, is going to be the lens through which we examine this entire conflict today. Section 1. The hidden evidence, when the loudest betrayal is quiet. So let's set the scene. The day kicks off with what should be a totally standard operational meeting. A major client, Nora Fields, the VP of Horizon Retail Group, is visiting the office for a quarterly review. And Maya's colleague, Claire, stands up and delivers this incredibly polished, perfectly formatted presentation. And the whole point of this presentation, to claim that leadership and Claire herself saved this massive account, completely erasing Maya's late-night work in the process. The psychology at play here is just wild. Toxic offices rely so heavily on clean surfaces to hide reality, right? They use those perfectly formatted documents, those smooth, confident presentations, to completely obscure what actually happened in the trenches. The most dangerous betrayals arrive quietly. But Maya catches the discrepancy immediately. Why? Because she has learned the hard way that every polished update might just be a locked drawer meant to hide the truth. Section 2. Confidence versus the truth. Two approaches to office politics. So this brings us to an absolute boiling point in the meeting room. Claire kicks off the discussion by casually introducing Maya merely as support staff. It's a calculated, subtle insult meant to completely erase all of Maya's heavy lifting. Claire and her ally Daniel are using this specific tactic, fast, polished assumptions to protect their power. They quickly frame the missing project records as a pattern of concern regarding Maya's performance. But Maya, she does not back down, not even a little bit. Instead of matching their fast, chaotic energy, Maya uses slower, evidence-based fact-finding. She looks them in the eye and points out something absolutely crucial. Patterns are only useful when they are based on facts. Without facts, a pattern is literally just a rumor wearing a tie. She completely refuses to let them summarize the situation until the actual raw evidence is opened up on the screen for everyone in the room to see. Blame moves fast because speed protects power. Evidence moves slower because it has to survive questions. That is such a powerful realization. I mean, this is exactly why Claire and Daniel rushed to assign the blame. Think about it. If they move fast enough, if they keep the meeting moving at a breakneck pace, no one has the time to stop and ask for the receipts. By forcing the entire room to just stop, take a breath, and slow down, Maya becomes the ultimate threat to their carefully constructed narrative. Section 3. Tracing the digital footprint. Following the missing record. So right there, in the middle of the meeting, the investigation begins. Maya, along with her colleague Leo and the IT specialist Noah, start pulling the digital thread. And as they trace the anomalies in the system logs, the exact sequence of this corporate cover-up emerges in real time. It's like watching a heist get unraveled. Step 1, the record changed. The client's thank you email to Maya was moved. Step 2, the blame was immediately shifted onto Maya for missing data. And Step 3, the explanation arrived ready-made from Claire. Maya points out to the dead silent room that this sequence wasn't some oops moment or a misunderstanding, it was premeditated. They knew the exact answer they wanted before they even asked the question. But the real smoking gun is exactly how they pulled it off. Noah, the IT guy, reveals his technical findings. The system didn't actually delete the original email thread. Instead, its status was changed to hidden. Now, in IT terms, that means it was intentionally removed from the default view to obscure the truth. It wasn't a glitch. It wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate, manual act of sabotage. It just goes to show that the truth in an office often looks incredibly boring, right up until the exact second someone realizes what that data actually proves. Section 4. Taking it offline. Translating corporate speak. Okay, so once the digital record starts clearly pointing the finger back at Claire and Daniel, absolute panic sets in. You can feel the tension. The manager, Ethan, suddenly realizes that the evidence is exposing a massive failure in his own leadership. So what does he do? He nervously asks if they can all just solve this offline. Now, let's translate that corporate speak for a second, because we've all heard it. Offline doesn't mean let's talk later. It actually means let's go to a place where there are no witnesses so I can pressure you to drop this. But Maya completely rejects the premise. She insists that they are staying online right here in the meeting where every single thing being said is visible, recorded, and verifiable. Realizing she is completely losing her grip on the room, Claire tries one last desperate tactic. It's a classic. Tone policing. She turns to Maya and tells her that her tone is becoming unprofessional and isn't helping the situation. But Maya shuts it down with one of the most brilliant pivots you will ever see. She simply says, "The tone did not change the record." Wow, just think about that. Maya completely refuses to let her justifiable frustration be weaponized against her. She keeps the focus strictly and ruthlessly on the verifiable facts. You can't gaslight a server log. Section 5. The client's final verdict. The truth becomes operationally necessary. So, all of this intense internal battling is suddenly overshadowed by the single most powerful force in any business, the client. Nora Fields, the VP of Horizon Retail Group, has been sitting in this room quietly watching this entire drama unfold. And then she interrupts. She reaches into her bag and pulls out printed screenshots of the late-night work Maya had directly sent her. And she drops this absolute bombshell line into the dead quiet room. "I would like Maya's version included in the official record." With that single sentence, supported by physical, hard evidence, the client's memory instantly and completely destroys Claire's lie. The client's demand made the truth operationally necessary. This is such a fascinating dynamic to observe. A dozen internal complaints from an employee might be totally ignored by a toxic management team. But the second external pressure is applied, the math changes instantly. This client intervention literally forces Olivia, the HR representative who had been silent all meeting, to finally step up and officially escalate the matter. The truth could no longer be swept under the rug because it was now tied directly to client satisfaction. It was tied to the revenue. Section 6. Fingerprints of real work. The aftermath of accountability. The fallout from this meeting is massive. The power dynamic in the office shifts literally overnight. Nora Fields, the client, flat out refuses to continue working with Northbridge Strategy unless Maya is officially named the lead on the account. Ethan is humiliated and forced to mandate sweeping new rules. All source files must be preserved, and informal, undocumented edits must stop immediately. We can really synthesize this entire incredible story into a tangible survival toolkit for any workplace. Number 1, document everything. Number 2, preserve your source files because they are your absolute best defense. Number 3, do not confuse silence with professionalism. Sometimes being a true professional means speaking up and pointing at the data. And finally, remember that real work leaves fingerprints on real people. A workplace only becomes safe when records cannot be quietly rewritten by the loudest person in the room and when the people actually doing the work are protected. Maya Chen obviously didn't fix her entire company's toxic culture in a single day. That takes time. But by refusing to back down and by relying purely on digital facts instead of getting pulled into emotional arguments, she made the next lies significantly harder to hide. And that is a huge victory. Which brings us to a final, pretty provocative thought I want to leave you with today. Look at your own files, your own inbox, your own chat logs. If the truth was hidden in your office today, would you have the receipts to find it? It's something every professional needs to seriously think about. Protect your hard work, save your source files, and always, always trust the evidence. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you took something valuable away from this. See you next time.